Question for Mr. Fantini Porter. Recently, the Vice President, the U.S. State Department, the Partnership for Central America announced private sector commitments of slightly more than $3.2 billion. Can you break that down? How much of that is actually commitments that were already on the books, and how much of that $3.2 billion is new since the announcement was made by the Vice President? Thanks.
Certainly, Ranking Member. I'll say that each and every one of the commitments that are made and announced and have been since May of 2021 are new commitments. So these are new investments, new social impact programs that are being planned and deployed on the ground in Central America. I'll just say new programs focused on impact.
So things like the Cargill and Microsoft commitments, those are all new since the announcement in May of 21.
New commitments.
Okay, good, thank you. Another question for you on pledger investments. Can you kind of share with us how you think they're going to alleviate U.S. border migration flows?
I'll say, Ranking Member Green, I very much respect the question. I'll note that as we think about this as an international development effort, which this committee, of course, knows too well from all of the efforts that have been deployed and led throughout the world, as an international development effort, it is a long-term effort. And so as we're assessing metrics that align with a long-term international development and economic development effort. I came from Homeland Security. I spent many years there. I understand and very much respect the metrics that are used when we think about enforcement. But I focus, as we think about this as an international development effort, on questions like how many families are being brought into digital inclusion, how many families have been brought into the formal economy through banking and our partners at MasterCard and others. So I just offer, if I may, sir, that we're very much focused on those long-term economic development efforts and metrics as we're assessing this effort.
I mean, I hear that, but the American people, a good chunk of them are losing patience on the flows. And if you look at, I know my colleague mentioned 2 million measurable. It's if you do the other people that are sort of going around, they call them getaways, whatever. It's about 3.3 million this year, right? So if you look at the states in the United States, 21 states have fewer people in the populations than 3.3 million. That means we're bringing in every year of this administration another entire state, a moderate-sized state. And so saying, well, this is a long-term, we're going to develop metrics over time, the American people are losing their patience with that. And just one caveat to you there. Mr. Farnsworth, how should the U.S. leverage our U.S.-Mexico relationship to promote investment and economic opportunity in Central America?
I think it's a great question, and it's an important question. By definition, the U.S. relationship with Central America is going to touch on the U.S. relationship with Mexico, and Mexico is Central America. Just look at the map. Yeah. So you've got it. But, it's interesting here because this is one area where the president of Mexico, with whom we have differences, has nonetheless expressed a real desire for partnership with the United States, which is to say development not just in southern Mexico, but also development in Central America. And it's one of his priorities. It's also an area where we have expressed real interest for the migration issue and others. And so there's a natural partnership here. And in fact, you've heard U.S. officials talk about it. You've heard Mexican officials talk about it. I'd like to see a lot more concrete done on it. Let's get beyond the rhetoric and let's move to concrete actions.
Would you do me a favor and sort of share your top 5 ideas on that with me in writing? I'm running out of time today because if you look at the press, the relations with the U.S. and the president of Mexico are just, it doesn't look good. And I'd love your top 5 ideas. So send them to me in writing.
I'd be delighted.
Thank you.
Thank you.